Good afternoon, distinguished colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. There was this presentation, the one before last, where they discussed the so-called advanced development territory. And I use this term here as well, advanced development territory, but I mean something else. Finances, taxes. I have my colleagues here, and they are going to give you more details during the roundtable discussion, because this is what we do and this is what we're interested in. But I have another point. To come up with such instruments of supporting somebody's activities, they need to be actually used. And let me use example of Pavlik to report to you what we're doing, how we imagine this development of Pavlik as part of what they call Tenkinsky cluster. This year, it's an anniversary for us. In December 2017, at Pavlik, they drilled a number of wells that showed some gold ore outside of the quartz veins, and then in, I think he said 2007, and then in 2008 through 2012 we did some surveying work. On the 1st of March 2013 we started building. We had this inauguration ceremony, and the first gold we got on August 15th, 2015. In 2015, we produced the first ton of gold at Pavlik, but in 2016, the production was 3.8 tons. Now let me show you what we plan to do in the future. In August 2016, our open pit produced 3 million tons of ore. Starting this year, we are going to get 5 million tons, and with our content from 2 to 2.5 grams per ton and extraction ratio of about 80%, our plan is 7.5 million tons. So from 1 ton to 7.5, this is quite an interesting example. Many of you present here actually visited us, and our plant is quite significant. It's an open pit. We use Caterpillar equipment and Komatsu equipment and anything else. We have pretty good equipment, and we're moving ahead. We are going to get 80% of extraction ratio, and the conditions that we got, we stick to them, and we'll continue doing so. This is our overall pictures of this ore mining and dressing plant, the residential campus, and some things are changing, but this is how it looks like in general. Now about our mineral and raw materials base. Today, our reserves are 150 tons. In Biadin resources, it's 60. This is what it is there in the protocol of the government commission. And as of the 1st of January 2018, we expect to get reserves of 300 tons and 300 tons in the resources of B1 category. I have no doubts that we're going to do that. Main work has been complete, and by the end of the year, we will just be processing papers, developing models, and getting the protocol from the government commission. We will continue our exploration work after 2018, and according to our assessments, Pavlik, I think that in terms of reserves, by 2020, we will get 400 tons and 300 tons in resources. Here, I'm talking about content at 0.6. Our neighbors got slightly different data. If we make it 0.4, then we could change it by recalculating these resources. And about resources, when we call resources and call them B1, these are the same reserves. It's just a matter of time to change its category. We don't want to spend money transferring it all into the reserves category. As the open pit goes down, it will be happening. These are not some kind of theoretical resources as the result of some surveying work. These are resources, these are what we call delayed reserves. That's why I believe that we are going to get there eventually in 2019, 2020. Pavlik is going to be among, if you remove Sukhoilok and Natalka and Nezhdaninskaya, we are going to be right there. And it's all in one location. It's compact. It's not some kind of extended. If you go back to Sukhoilok and Natalka, there's a huge territory. In our case, it's within a fairly compact territory. If you look at this picture, this is the reserves that we used to have, together with what we're going to have this here. Then we moved over here. We crossed to the neighboring hill and further. All this is what I'm talking about when I say 400 tons of C1, C2, and 300 tons in resources. The ore body does not stop there. The column, it continues down. Of course, I shouldn't use easy, but why is it relatively easy? As we move forward, we still see the ore is there, and what we have at the flanks and in deeper horizons is the same as what we have in the middle. We're not trying to change anything here. We're not trying to verify anything. And just one more geological fact. We believe that the idea of Pavlik geological situation is as follows. This is our fault, and we have 3 ore clusters shown here. And along this line, you have a fault here, and you go in parallel to this fault. And we believe that Pavlik, at least Pavlik, I'm not talking about others, it has, there's this source of this gold, we see it, we record it, and based on this model, we are moving forward and we get the results that I mentioned earlier. If we believe that it's not a linear movement, but it goes in a spiral like this or in a circle, and it's attached to the magnet anomaly, then the picture is slightly different, and our exploration work confirms that. So that's why we're optimistic about our future. Now about the production of gold. We got 1 ton in first year, then 3.8 in 2016, and this year we're going to get 7.5, going to 5 million tons of ore. In 2018, we're going to stick to that 5 million tons of ore, or 7.5 25 tons of gold. But considering our base, we can say that starting from 2020, we wish we could do it in 2019, but starting from 2020, we're going to switch to 10 million tons. That's only for the open pit and adjacent territories. The production of gold is 15 tons, and maybe next year as well. And then we have this forecast. In terms of raw materials base, we could raise it up to 15 million or even 20 million, but here there are some other factors, including energy. We have enough energy for 10 million tons, but not for 15 or 20 million tons. Polis is building electricity transmission line. When they finish building it, we'll have plenty of electricity there. And whether we choose option 1 or 2, we are going to make that decision at the end of the year or early next year, as we're done with all this work with the mineral ore base. And output of gold is shown here. I think that even if we reach this indicator, it will be a significant contribution for the overall production of gold in the Magadan Oblast in the Russian Federation. They are going to launch Natalka. Even if they launch this year, next year they'll start full-scale production. So the situation with gold production is changing, and then this part of Magadan region is going to be quite promising, and that's why all these options, the use of advanced special economic zones and priority development areas, that's going to be quite good for further development. If I have any questions, I will be glad to